Hi everyone! In this video, I want to share with you my first impressions from this kit. It's painting by numbers, and I also want to give beginners some advice how to choose a good manufacturer and quality kit for painting by numbers. I received this kit in exchange of my honest review. Before I started to color in coloring books, I finished couple of similar paintings by number from Ukrainian and Chinese manufacturers, so I have small experience, but I'm still quite a beginner. Still, it will be very interesting to look at what I have in this kit comparing to my previous kits. Winnie Speaks is a manufacturer from United States, so I was a little bit worried about delivery, but delivery was safe and quick. The roll of canvas was protected by sturdy cardboard package. I tried to carefully unwrap this roll of canvas because inside there is an instruction for beginners, color chart, paints and brushes. I selected beautiful landscape and my selected picture is quite big. It's 40 by 60 centimeters and it's very detailed. But you know that I am not looking for easy colorings. I definitely prefer something with a lot of details, so for me it's a perfect choice. In the instruction, there are some helpful advice, especially for beginners, how to start and not make a mess from your first paint by numbers. And I really love that there is also a color chart. Not in all of my paint by number kits I received such a chart, and sometimes it's really very helpful. But of course, the most interesting part is paints. For my painting, I got 24 colors and I'm quite happy that everything was safely packed, so everything arrived without any damage. I spent quite a long time on the website of the Winnie Speaks trying to find my favorite kit because the choice is huge. There are a lot of subjects. There are kits for beginners, for more advanced levels. There are several subjects which I was interested. You know that I love landscapes, I love city scenes, and I also love flowers. And that's why in the end I selected this beautiful landscape. I have here everything I love. Cute house, water reflection, some flowers, beautiful greenery. So I decided that even if it's very detailed and quite difficult, quite advanced, I really want to try it. Now let me tell you how I decide from my previous experience which paint by numbers kit I consider quality and which one I am not very happy with. I always pay attention to the colors. I really don't like kits where I have over bright or unnatural colors or very contrast colors like I had on these not very successful kits. Next, I don't like when manufacturers put on the package photo or original artwork which they used as a base for creating this paint by numbers kit. I really prefer to have on the package and also on the website where I select my kits a real result of painting this picture, this kit using these paints, and I was quite happy to find that on the Winnie Pig's side, it was quite easy to see final results. In this way, I know that I won't be disappointed in the end of my quite time consuming paint by numbers, and that my final painting will look exactly as I saw on their site. Also, there is a quite interesting thing. You can send them your own photo and they will create individual kit for you. Maybe from picture of your pet or maybe you want to paint your family portrait. But I decided that I want to test one of their standard kits. There are some kits for beginners. Paintings are divided by subjects. There are flowers, animals, seascapes, landscapes, a lot of flowers. As I said, choice was quite difficult. But as I am not very experienced, I decided that I want to select a kit where I don't have to worry about some small mistakes. As a beginner, I didn't want to start painting from portrait, for example, where I need to learn better technique of working with acrylic paints. In painting like this, with a lot of flowers, leaves, reflection in the water, it will be easy to mask small mistakes. And also I immediately fall in love with the color palette. I love very soft pastel colors of the sky and on the flowers on the forefront. I love this water reflection and I love natural green colors. Winnie Pigs provides international delivery. Package will arrive from United States and you can choose several options. You can choose painting without or with frame. And a very important thing, if it's your first painting, you will need some kind of easel or frame where you will attach your canvas, like I did here. Usually I purchased canvas which was already attached to the frame, so here I had to spend some time by finding appropriate size of the frame where I could put my canvas. So if it's your first painting by numbers, maybe it's better to purchase the full kit, especially because on the Winnie Pig side there are different sizes of frames. It definitely will help you to start your painting immediately and not to think where to attach your canvas. Before you start your actual painting, you definitely need to stretch your canvas. Painting on stretched canvas really helps to get much better result and it's easy. So I highly recommend if you're a beginner and don't have at home frames or easels to purchase wooden stretcher. Next, I always look at size and quality of brushes. I am glad that here I received 4 brushes. As my painting is quite big and very detailed, I am quite sure that I will need all 4 of them, so it's a very wise choice by manufacturer. Also, the size of the brushes have to correspond with the size of the areas which you will need to color. On my painting, I have a lot of small areas, so I have 3 small brushes, and only on the sky I have bigger areas to color, so I have one white flat brush. Next, I always look at quality and texture of canvas. I was very happy to find that here texture of the canvas surface isn't very rough, it's almost smooth, so very pleasant texture. I am sure that acrylic paints will lay down very well on such surface and it will be quite easy to cover all white spots even with one layer of paints. I wanted to show you my previous canvas which I got from other manufacturers. Here I have much rougher texture. On such surface it was quite difficult to cover all white spots. Also, I'm not a huge fan of the gray areas like I had here. And you can see comparison between surfaces of my old and new paintings. Also, you can see that on my previous kits I had much bigger areas to color, so paintings looked much more childish. And this painting from Winnipeg is more detailed, so I hope that it will look more realistic. Next, I always look at quality of printing. All numbers are visible, so it's easy to see where I need to put which color, and still lines and numbers are printed not in black but in pale gray color, so it will be much easier to mask them with acrylic paint. Next, let's have a look at the quality of paints. As I said, everything was safely packed, so everything is arrived without problems. All bottles are nicely closed, and you have to remember that you have to close all your paints immediately after you finished to work with them, as acrylic paints are very quickly dry on open air. All paints are very fresh, they have pleasant creamy texture, and bottles are quite full that I am sure that even for my huge painting, like 40 by 60, it will be enough paint to cover everything. I was especially pleased with colors. As I said, I fall in love with the painting by looking at its pastel blue, pastel pink, and natural looking green colors. And I wasn't disappointed when I got the kit. You can see that all greens are very beautiful. Nothing is too bright, nothing is unnatural bright. So just like I expected. You also have to remember that paints in such kits are usually more creamy, have thicker texture than regular acrylic paints. They are more opaque because you need to be able to cover all gray lines and all numbers. So my final test is to look at how will behave light colors and dark colors. Light colors will need to be able to cover all gray lines and all numbers even with one layer of paint, and dark colors have to be able to cover all white spots on canvas. I decided to start painting from left upper corner because here there is sky and the lightest colors in the kit are meant for the sky. Also in the left upper corner I have quite dark roof of the house, so it's a perfect possibility to test dark colors. I work with paints directly from the jars or bottles, I don't know how to name them, so I don't use any water. When I go closer to the line between two colors, I try to mix two colors lightly in that area in order to make a smooth transition between colors. So I try to paint in more artistic way. Brush was surprisingly soft, but it was quite easy to paint, and the size of the brush was quite suitable for the size of the areas which I had to cover. When you paint by numbers, you have to remember about closing your paints immediately after you finish to color, and also about cleaning your brushes, especially when you work with such thick, heavy body acrylic paints. Even if after 10 minutes your brushes already started to dry, and it won't be easy to clean them and to restore them. If they will dry completely, you will need to purchase another brushes. So keep them in the water when you need to switch between brushes, and clean them immediately with soap when you finish to paint. For me, painting by numbers is a nice distraction from adult coloring books, from coloring in line art books. Just like cross stitching, where you have a color chart and everything you need is to be careful and slowly follow instruction and to add colors. It's a very nice relaxation when you don't have to be very creative, when you don't have to think about shading, about color choice. You just have to carefully fill in colors. You may decide to add some individual details to the painting, or you may simply follow instructions. Anyway, for me, it's a very nice way to have a very relaxing time, and in the end, I hope that I will have a canvas which I will be able to put on the wall. I am not a huge fan of tearing pages from my coloring books and putting them in frames and to decorate walls with them, but with this paint by numbers, I'm sure that I will find a place in my home where I want to put this beautiful landscape. I believe that this hobby is suitable for all ages, so it's great for spending family time. My final test is for dark colors. With good paints, I will be able to cover white canvas even with first layer. And again, I was very pleased with the quality of the paints. I don't think that I will need to apply second layer. It's a pleasure to work with such fresh paints. They are very creamy, they spread on the canvas very well, they cover everything very well, and I don't need to use water at all. I am very happy with first results of my paint by numbers. The kid from Winnie passed all my tests with brilliant marks. The only thing which I really want to remind you that if it's your first kit, you definitely will need to purchase some stretcher for the canvas. Winnie provides me with a promo code for my subscribers. You can type coloring with Alena and you will get 5 USD discount from your first order. There is no minimum purchase required, but promo code is limited to one use for customer. I will keep you updated about my progress on this beautiful painting, and I hope that in the end I will be able to put this beautiful painting on the wall of my house. I thank you for watching. Stay creative, try new arts, new crafts, new hobbies, and have a wonderful time. Bye!